everyone, today I'm doing my June reading wrap up, which is absolutely crazy for me to think about because it's already been 6 months of the year. I can't believe it. We're halfway through the year. It's wild to me. But I did manage to finish 5 books in the month of June, which is a big improvement for me, so I'm really excited to show you all the books that I read and my thoughts on them. And the first book that I finished in June was actually one that I was reading all throughout May, but I finished on I think the 2nd of June it was, and that is Butter. And this is a Japanese book, it's translated, and I really enjoyed this despite it taking so long for me to read. I was just really busy, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to dedicate to this book in particular. But I did start this book through audiobook. I think the first third of the book I did audio, and I was listening to it on Spotify, and then I changed my Spotify subscription back to a student one because it had been on a normal one. So I was paying extra when I didn't have to, but then now that I'm on student again, it doesn't let you listen to audiobooks. So I had to read the rest of this. So I feel like I would have finished it a lot quicker if I was able to finish it in audio format, but since it took me longer to read in physical form, it did stretch out a bit, so I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I really enjoyed the storyline though, it was really interesting. It's like a literary fiction type thing. And I don't really know how to explain it. It's kind of like mystery based. There is our main character who is talking to a murderer in prison and trying to figure out the reasons for killing these people that she had, or even if she actually did it, because that is also up in the air. People don't know if she did it, if she didn't. So that was all really interesting, but I don't know, it just kind of dragged out towards the end. And I did enjoy it. I can't actually remember what the ending was though, so I don't think it stuck with me that much, so I did give it a 3 stars. So if you do have the time to actually read this book not in a month and in a shorter time period, you'd probably enjoy it a lot. I feel like I would have definitely rated it higher if I could have finished it quicker, just so that I had more of the story in my mind and it wasn't spread out over 5 weeks. But then next, because I wanted to get out of my reading slump, I thought the best way for me to do that is read some fun romance books. So the rest of the books that I did read in the month of June are all romance books, and I did enjoy them all. And the first one that I started with is The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest, and this is actually the second in a companion series. The first one is called The Neighbour Favour, and I really enjoyed this. And each different book in this series follows one of the sisters. So this one follows Violet. I believe the first one followed her sister, is it Lily? I think her sister Lily. Does she have a sister Lily? Because I think they're all named after flowers. Yeah, okay, so the first one was Lily, this one is Violet, and then the next one, which I think, I think the new cover's been announced. Let me check, because I was following the author on Instagram and she said that the new cover for the next book, the third book in this series, about the third sister Iris, is going to be out. The cover, that is, not the book. Okay, so this is the third book called The Love Lyric. That's what the cover looks like. That's so fun. So that's coming out next year. Anyway, back to this book. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 stars. It was super fun. And this one's about our 2 main characters who used to date in high school, but then they had a breakup. And then now it's 10 years later, I think. And they run into each other in Vegas and accidentally get married. So it follows that whole storyline. It was really interesting. I love the main character Violet's job. She is a stylist, so she styles celebrities, and I think that's super fun. It was so good, a little second chance romance, marriage of convenience type situation, and it was so fun. So I would definitely recommend. Now I feel like I need to go back and read The Neighbour Favour because I want to see that storyline with Violet's sister. And then next I read the third book in the Kings of Sin series, which is King of Greed. I can't remember what I rated this, but this is also a second chance romance because our main characters were married for 10 years, but then they decide to get a divorce. So then you're following all that. And I really quite enjoyed this. I like the characters, and I also like the bit where they travel and go to Brazil. I love when they travel in books. I've never been to Brazil, but the way they're describing it sounded so fun. But as always, I really liked this, and I am looking forward to continuing this series. But I rated this a 3.5 stars, which is higher than I rated King of Pride. but lower than I rated King of Wrath. I think King of Wrath for me was a 4 stars, this was 3.5, and then King of Pride was a 3. So I don't know what King of Sloth will be. I do have that on my shelf and I do need to get to that super soon, but yeah, this is like ranked second for me out of the 3 that I've read. I really quite enjoyed this one. And then next I read the Book Talk Book Club's Book of the Month for June. You should definitely go follow Book Talk Book Club on Instagram if you're not already, but it was done and dusted by Lila Sage. And this clearly is a small town romance. It was really fun. I really enjoyed this. Like, I love a small town romance, I've come to find. Like, it's really fun. I feel like every single small town romance that I've read are always so good, and this one also did not disappoint. Like, it was so good. I really enjoyed this. I think I read it really quickly too, like 3 or 4 days, which is quick for me recently, so I was really happy with that. I really enjoyed it. What did I rate it? I gave it a 4 stars. I just looked at my Goodreads review and I did write that it felt like the basic small town romance, like it was, but not in a bad way. You knew what to expect, but I was happy with it. Like, she's living on a big ranch, she's a horse rider, he works at the ranch, and he is her brother's best friend, so we've also got that storyline, and he also owns a bar. I feel like these are really common things that you see in like a small town romance, but it was enjoyable, you know what I mean? And I'm also really excited to read Swift and Saddled, which is about Emmy's brother Wes, I think. And then I'm also really excited to read the 3rd book in this series, which is going to follow Teddy, which is Emmy's best friend, and Gus, her older brother. So that one I'm so excited for. I think that comes out in like November or something this year, so I'm really excited for that. But this one, really enjoyed it, so I look forward to reading more books by this author in the future. And then the last book that I read is one that I actually finished yesterday, and it is the 25th of June right now, but I just figured that I wouldn't finish another book, so I am filming my June wrap up early. But anyway, this book is Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher, and I haven't read Love Redesigned, which is kind of crazy. I need to go back and do that. I literally went to the shops today to try and find it. They didn't have it anywhere, so for now I've just read the 2nd book in this series, which is the Lakefront Billionaires series, and I don't know if you would classify this as a small town romance. The place they live is called Lake Wisteria, and it's in Michigan, maybe? That seems right. That's where the lakes are, isn't it? Michigan? I think so. Obviously, with it being Lakefront Billionaires, we do have a billionaire. So Raphael is a billionaire. He owns this like real estate app, so that's how he is so rich. I assume you would have heard more about that in Love Redesigned, because he owns it with his cousin Julian, who is the male lead in Love Redesigned. I haven't read that, so I literally don't know what was going on there. But then I think that one was Julian and Dahlia, probably. I really need to read it. I really do. But this, really good. It is single dad. Raphael's a dad. He has a son who is like 8 or something. And then Ellie, our female lead, is the nanny. And also in this one, as you can see, I don't know if you really can, like, you can't really tell on the cover, but it says stuff about Hawaii. They go to Hawaii, and as I was saying in King of Greed, how they go to Brazil. I love seeing when they travel in books because I just think it's so much fun. So this, when they go to Hawaii, we really get to see the Hawaii vibes, and I really like that. So especially because this book is so big, I think the change in setting was also really good, because it had like different vibes when they were in the hometown to when they were all on holiday. But this was just really good. Like, it's quite thick, and I think I also read this pretty quickly, maybe like 5 or 6 days, I'm not too sure, but this is like over 600 pages. But I really enjoyed it. There wasn't a time where I was like, ugh, I don't want to read it, which is a good sign in my books. But yeah, I was actually like surprised that I liked it as much as I did, because the one book that I read before by Lauren Asher, which is Throttled, which is a Formula 1 sports romance, I didn't love. And I don't know if that's just because I read that in audiobook form, and I don't think I liked the narrators for that. So maybe that was the only problem. But then ever since, I was like, I don't know if I want to read another Lauren Asher book. She has been redeemed. Redeemed! I think that's also another book in that Formula 1 series. Anyway, this was really good. I think I gave this also a 4 stars. So I had quite a 4 stars. I had a 4-star month, really. how many books are 4 stars? 3 out of the 5. That's pretty good. But yeah, I just really enjoyed this. So I can't wait to find Love Redesigned somewhere because I will be reading that. And I'm so excited. But this was so good. Like, I didn't really say too much about it, but like, I don't know what you want me to say. Billionaires, she's the nanny. Then you know what happens from there, don't you? It's a romance book. But I also liked how this was like a good mix of like fun, lightheartedness. Like they go on holidays and then there's, oh, he also has animals. Like Raphael has all these like animals that he saves. That was also super cute. Anyway, not really relevant to what I was saying, but then there's also like some hard-hitting topics in there too. So maybe also look up trigger warnings if you need to. I don't know. I think it has at the front. Does it have it at the front? Oh, there's a little scanny thing. I don't know if you can scan off my video right now, but like, I think you can also look it up. Content warnings. I really enjoyed it, so I would definitely recommend. I don't know how the first one was, so I can't say if the first one wasn't any good you should continue reading, because I don't know if that one was better than this one or if this is better than the first one. I don't know, but I'm going to go back and read that first one because I enjoyed this one a lot. So those are the 5 books that I managed to read in the month of June. I might be able to read one more because we do have 5 more days left of the month. I haven't started anything yet. I've got my Kindle over there. I'm thinking of starting a book on Kindle, but I don't know what I want to pick, and I don't know if I will finish it before the month ends. But if I do, I will just talk about it in my July wrap-up, so you will see that then if I do finish another book in this month. Also, I'd love to know what books you read in the month of June, and if you have any new favourites. Did you read any of the books that I read? Have you read any of the books that I've read before? What did you think of them? Let me know in the comments. But that's all for today, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I do post new videos every single week, so you don't want to miss them. But thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week. Goodbye!